I'm Taylor, T-A-Y-L-O-R, Rowe, R-O-W-E, Airman First Class. So relative to the event itself, I'm the lead coordinator. So the thought came to me, it was about this time last year when it was about September 9th or so, and I was looking around the island to try to find a 9/11 run, and I wasn't able to find one. So I wanted this year to be different, so I decided to put together this run. Basically reaching out to different organizations here on base and coordinating with the Yagi Booster Club that I'm the treasurer of. So it was a combined effort from multiple organizations, and then together we were able to put together this event.
And what's the purpose for putting together this run?
So the purpose, so for me it's something, for me it's remembering the victims of 9/11 itself, and then for the service members that lost their lives in the fight on terror, and then that are also continuing that fight. So it's on the past and then also in the present. I'll say, I mean, for myself, and I feel like for my generation, we were younger when September 11th happened, and it's one of those things that kind of woke us up to kind of the reality of the way things are in the world. And it's because of September 11th, we've implemented tons of new policies, like the airport security, like we've changed a lot of things since then for the better to prevent things like that from happening again. And for me, it's one of the reasons why I joined also, is basically try to end some of the bad things that are happening. So I was similar like Sergeant Smith Brown. I was in my fourth grade class, and sitting class, and my teacher, she had left the room. She was watching it live in a different classroom, and she came back and she told us what was going on. And then she asked us if we had any relatives in New York City at the time, and that's all that I really remember of that. They didn't let us out early, we just stayed in the classroom and finished the day. But I was in California. That's where I'm from originally. I'm from Sacramento, California.
Okay. And last name?
Quintavis Smith Brown. First name Q-U-I-E-N-T-A-V-I-S. Last name S-M-I-T-H space Brown. B-R-O-W-N.
Two last names?
Yes.
Okay. Rank?
Staff Sergeant. So I'm helping Airman First Class Rowe with the event overall, but my title is the president of the Yagi Booster Club. It's a private organization from the 623rd Air Control Squadron. We were established in July of 2017, so just a few months ago. I just helped him out overall, so any questions that he had, he just came and asked me, and then I'd give him guidance, but for the most part, he did every single piece of work for this. Well, it's just, you know, to remember what happened on September 11th, 2001. It's not necessarily, you know, supposed to be like a fun run. You know, you want to finish, you want to go hard, but it's just to remember those lives that were lost. You know, you don't want to ever forget, because it's a very tragic event, and just, you know, whenever you do the run, just make sure you're going hard and you're just actually running for them, not just to exercise, but just to actually, you know, dedicate time and energy to what happened. Yes, so I was in the third grade, and my teachers, in our classroom, and my teacher, you know, got up very fast, and then she left the classroom maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then she came back in the classroom and went straight to the TV and turned it on. Probably not the best idea to turn this TV on in front of a bunch of third graders, but she did that, and we saw, you know, what was happening, the planes running into the Twin Towers and killing all those innocent people. So it was a very sad day, I can say that much.
First name Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T. Last name Bingham, B-I-N-G-H-A-M.
All right.
Major.
Major.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your job title?
I am the Chief of Stanaval at the 17th Special Operations Squadron.
Okay.
I'm an Air Force guy, but I was in pilot training with the Navy in Corpus Christi, Texas. I was the squadron duty officer that day, and after we got word that the planes hit the towers, I had the responsibility of making sure all the planes were called back and landed as soon as possible. To remember, you know, to run and remember. There was a lot of people that were affected that day, not only the ones that were killed, but all their family members that live with that memory, and so we're just running to remember them and their families. I am the Chief of Stanaval at the 17th Special Operations Squadron.
Okay.
Gunnery Sergeant Matthew Jaroslawski, United States Marine Corps, MATHEW JAROSLAWSKI. I was in my senior year of high school, and we had heard about it on the radio, and then they turned all the TVs on in the high school, and that's how I found out about it. It was shocking. It was eye-opening, and we were kind of all living in a bubble during that time, and that really woke up America. Well, my wife heard about the run, and I thought it was a good idea, a good way for us to get outside and to think about that day. So that's what we did. It's important to remember the victims and to think about why we're committed to a lot of our engagements around the world and how we can make the world a more secure and better place.
I was in high school, and for some reason that day I was not at school, and I actually seen the news when the second plane hit the building. And it was just pretty amazing because I wasn't really aware of what the World Trade Center was at that time. And then when I called my mom to let her know that that had happened, it was like a huge shock, and then all of a sudden our whole lives changed forever. I'm running today because I love the USA, and I feel like all those men and women that died out there, it's for a cause, and to help remember that cause today is why I'm here. Julia, Julia, Cricky Matura, CRIQUI, MATURA.
Katie Martin, KATIE MARTIN. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, and it was during my lunch break. I had gone to visit my husband who worked at PMO at Camp Lejeune, and I was hanging out with him, and we had this little bitty TV on in his office, and we were the news was on, and we watched it over the news. It just happened. We're just sitting there, and we're like, I mean, it was just like, what's going on? And right away the base started having all these restrictions. Right away he had to work. I didn't see him for that whole week. You know, they were trying to do security measures and stuff like that. So that's where I was on September 11th, to honor those that lost their lives that day, and that's why I'm here.
Tammy Borstini, Tammy, wait, Borsini, sorry. I was currently stationed at the Naval Base Coronado, California. I do. My dad actually was the one who called me, and I was getting ready for work, and I turned on the TV, and it was total chaos on the TV. So driving into work, what normally took me 10 minutes took me over 2 hours because of the security to get on the base. So it was very chaotic, but yeah, I remember as if it was yesterday. Just for remembering all those brave soldiers and service members, police officers, firefighters, everybody that came out to help, you know, react and go help everybody, and those that lost their lives. Just remembering them, taking the time to remember.
Staff Sergeant Christopher Roberts, KRISTOFFER, ROBERTS. I was in vocational school in Oak Hill, West Virginia, and I got pulled out of class, and we went to the classroom and looked at the TV, and we saw that the towers had been hit, and then right when we saw that, another one came and hit the towers, so we saw the second one. I ran today because I feel like the reason I joined was because we went to war with Iraq, and the other reason I joined was because of September 11th. So, and that kind of fed into it. So that's why I'm running today, for those who can't be here.
A1C Rivera, Monica, and it's RIVERA. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. So I was actually in the DC area when the Pentagon was hit. I actually had my ex-brother-in-law at the time that was in one of the World Trade Center towers at that time. So my husband was at home on the phone trying to get a hold of him. And we actually did eventually get a hold of him, but he did survive. And it was a pretty major moment for us. It's definitely impacted all our lives, especially my ex-brother-in-law's life. And I'm very proud to be a part of this event here. Being from the DC area, there was a lot of people that you come across and that you know just different circles that were affected. Either they knew somebody worked there, just seeing the Pentagon and you know, the lives lost, the lives affected, just something personal that I wanted to do and pay respect to. Yes, ma'am.
My first and last name? Kyle McGurn, MCGURN. I'm a firefighter crew chief. September 11, 2001, I was in 7th grade living in California, and we sat down in my science class and watched it all go down on the news. There was lots of information coming out that we were going to be hit in California. So there was a lot of scares and people being pulled out of school, but we all sat down together and watched the history unfold.